Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having watermelon and Diet Dr. Pepper. I want to chat with you guys a little bit about why there are no shortcuts in gaining strength and getting really strong. There are no shortcuts, but it doesn't mean that you can't impede yourself. I've got some people who are like, "Well, this is a long process, but mine's gone nowhere." And it's because they're not even doing the basics of what they need to do. It's not that they need a shortcut, it's that they literally are not doing the basic things. But the thing is, strength is a little different from getting a look. But even then, there are no shortcuts really. Again, we're setting aside illicit substances in this discussion. Obviously, those things are shortcuts to a point. Getting a certain look can create, there's the illusion that you can do it quickly, but you really can't. And the reason the illusion exists there is because you can get that, quote, aesthetic look relatively quickly, but it's going to come at a price. Meaning you're not going to get big if you try to stay there. And you're not going to be big. Okay? You can create an illusion in a short period of time. Well, what do we mean by an illusion? You spend a bunch of time building your shoulders, whole shoulder area up, all this, upper chest, delts, upper traps. And you diet down really, really lean to where you have deep abs. You'll kind of have that look, and maybe just when you're shirtless on a camera, a lot of people will say, "Oh man, that guy's really, really in shape and looks great," right? But walking down the street, you're just going to be a skinny guy. You walk next to me with us wearing clothing, and you're just going to look like a little toothpick. You're just going to look like a skinny guy who doesn't lift next to an actual thick, real lifter. But on a camera, with your shirt off, especially if they just kind of keep from this sort of angle, right? Maybe just a side angle. Don't turn around and look at the back too much, because you won't have a thick back. It takes years to build lats. You kind of have that look. So you can pull off a shortcut for an illusion that way. But it's an illusion because you're not actually going to be big. And like I said, you put full clothing on, you're just going to look like a skinny guy. You may look skinnier than when you started, because you are just a skinny guy at that point. A skinny guy with some delts. When it comes to lifting, I get a lot of my younger guys are like, got to be shortcuts. All your other clients are super strong. A bunch of them are. Because you guys see some of them I used to on my private Facebook, to where it's more friends, family, other lifters, coaches, clients. I post a lot more. So there's a ton of clients whose lifts are up there that have never been seen in the public. And a lot of my clients post there and kind of admit they're my clients. So there's even a larger number there than what you guys see with the vlogs. And they're like, "Dude, people are strong. You're strong. There's got to be shortcuts. What's the secrets?" And it's like, there are no shortcuts. It's just years and years of appropriate work and not getting hurt. And it kind of comes down to something I heard in a podcast a while back with, some experienced lifters talking, very experienced lifters. And one of them said, "Look, you want to get really strong, just come in and squat heavy once a week for the next 10 years, and you'll get strong." He's like, because you kind of figure out a lot of the rest of what you need as you go. You'll figure a lot of it out, but that alone will get you eventually, you'll get really strong. You'll be strong. And don't get hurt. So kind of that's the other thing that I would point out. Yeah, you could do that. Come in and squat really heavy once a week. I'd say deadlift heavy once a week. Do some other stuff. Now, obviously, I have programs and have free programs and recommend program methods. Obviously, I offer coaching services. But I think the programming is the least important part of the coaching, to be fair, at this point. That's why I can run different systems. I can switch people from one system to the next and they still just keep getting stronger. I can do 5-3-1 to conjugate type training back and forth on the same lifters and they just keep getting stronger. It's not what it is. There's other things involved in coaching. It's that eye, it's that oversight. Either telling you to either making them train harder than they have been in certain ways, which is less often the case with my serious lifters, and more of, hey, you're training too hard, you're pushing too hard, we're going too heavy, reel it back in. You're going to get hurt. You're going to burn out. Hey, that's coaching. But it's true. It's true. If you do that, you will get strong. When people go 10 years, it's like, yeah. Because here's the big thing. Getting strong requires you to gain a lot of muscle. That is that weird myth, and I love how Wendler points that out. He's like, look, you want a big bench, you're going to have to get big. I don't care about some hypothetical imaginary lifter in Iowa who benches 450 weighing 150 or whatever. He's like, I don't care about that guy. You're not him. He goes, and if those guys exist, there's a million other guys or 10 million other guys who trying to do the same thing they are who are failing. Okay, so don't even worry. That's stupid to even think about those sort of scenarios. You have to get big. Gaining muscle, particularly drug-free, takes a very, 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 very long time. Gaining real muscle, I don't mean, oh, you built a little bit of Delton diet to down lean. Dense, hard muscle takes years. Now, where people mess up, the funniest one is the guys who don't eat. That's really the ones who shoot themselves in the foot. Because that's the biggest shortcut you have. To be fair, if people want a shortcut, gain weight. Strength train appropriately, properly. Try to eat fairly healthy, but gain weight. That's the biggest shortcut. Now, people say, but I'll get fat. You can diet fat off later. I've demonstrated that fairly well for you guys here this year. I think. Build your base. Build your base. But then guys say, well, I don't want to spend several years at a higher body fat. Then don't claim you want to be big and strong drug-free, because you actually don't. That comes down to, you think it would be nice to, but you don't actually want it. Because if you did, you would understand that's probably the sacrifice you're going to have to make. That is your biggest cheat code. Bulk and cut. Now, you could do it in a process every year, right? You spend 9-10 months bulking, 3 months cutting, so that you don't get too fat and you get lean again. You could do that. That'll work. But you are going to have to bulk if that's your only shortcut. That's your only shortcut. That's it. And if you aren't willing to do that, the process is going to go way slower, and it's already going to take you a decade. So just keep that in mind, guys. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.